American Sunrise. That is Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is a cloudy day then, look at that. But I love seeing the boats. Boats always make me happy. And the water, so pretty. Welcome back to American Sunrise. I'm Dr. G. Thanks for joining us. It is time now for today's health news, sponsored by the Wellness Company. Under the microscope today, how lifting weights is a better option than running for preventing diabetes. This was part of a new study done at Virginia Tech using mice that were fed a high-fat diet. They did find that both running and weightlifting were good options for blood sugar control, but resistance training was more effective at burning fat and improving glucose tolerance. Those are the key words. It's all about that glucose. Those are all factors helping prevent and manage type 2 diabetes. The researchers created a weightlifting model for the mice. Those are not mice. Just clarifying for you. It was on the wheel. They used to get to do their food. Then another group ran freely on the wheel to get the food. Both showed positive results, but the ones with weights showed better numbers. And I'm reading more and more about this all the time because I love looking into this. I was raised in gyms. My dad was a bodybuilder. And so he always said cardio, cardio, cardio. Well, new research suggests that actually it is all about building that lean muscle mass. And so weightlifting might be better for you, better use of your time anyway, than strictly cardio. A new administration in Washington, D.C., a lot of positive changes when it comes to fixing our broken healthcare system. But there's only so much government can do. If we really want to make America healthy again, it's going to start at home with each of us. And that's where the Wellness Company comes in. You see and hear from their doctors all the time right here on Real America's Voice, and you know that their products are the gold standard for keeping you and your family safe and healthy. The Wellness Company makes sure you're prepared for whatever happens with their series of prescription medical kits. These kits contain an assortment of life-saving medications and guidebooks that assist you in the proper use of the meds in your kit. Additionally, the Wellness Company offers a variety of products: parasite cleanses, methylene blue, weight loss, so much more. These can help you stay healthy, live a longer, more satisfying life, make America healthy again. It starts at home. You guys, do your part. Protect the health of yourself and your family. Go to twc.health/RAV. Give it an order. That's twc.health/RAV. Use the promo code RAV. It'll save you 10%. Emily.
Good morning, Dr. Gina. We do have some big news to get to. The House voted to pass the Senate's bill ending the government shutdown, which was the longest shutdown in American history. President Trump signed the measure and blamed Democrats for all the harm done to the country during the shutdown. Take a look at this.
Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid. And the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately.
Let's now bring in GOP strategist and fellow for the Independent Women's Forum, Nicole Coppola. Nicole, thank you for being with us this morning. How do you think Republicans came out in this deal?
I think Republicans came up on top here. Look, Republicans have been calling for the reopening of the government since day one. Republicans said, we'll fund the government, but we're not going to let Democrats sneak in these massive left-wing priorities. The Democrats kept the government shut, and they tried to extort Trump because they wanted this one-year extension of Obamacare subsidies. They wanted expanded social spending. They wanted protections for illegal immigrants through different funding mechanisms, and they wanted policy riders attached to what should have been this clean CR, a clean CR which Republicans kept passing means no policy changes, no subsidy extensions, no illegal immigrant giveaways. Just keep the government open temporarily and negotiate separately. Democrats believed that they could pressure President Trump. They were betting that President Trump would get blamed for this shutdown and that he would eventually give in, but he didn't. So the Democrats kept the government shut for absolutely nothing, all while knowing they were causing so much pain for the American people.
Nicole, I would like to see Republicans having a conversation about actually reducing debt. I would like to see our economy flourishing so that jobs were flourishing because families are hurting, et cetera, et cetera. We have hundreds of millions of people collecting SNAP benefits that aren't even Americans. A lot of them are sending this money back to foreign countries that we already supplement with our hardworking American tax dollars. Nicole, how can this be fixed? And why are we not hearing this narrative from Republicans right now?
Well, I think that the economy will absolutely continue to flourish. We have to remember, and this is what I keep saying over and over again, what President Trump inherited here from the Biden administration: inflation rates off the charts, prices off the charts. We have to take that into consideration. And we have to urge the American people, let's be patient here, because the president is revamping the entire economy in order to stabilize it. And he always said it's going to be shaky at the beginning. It hasn't even been a year since the president has been in office yet. And he's made some drastic cuts with cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The very first few months of his administration, when he first got into office, he's already made tremendous gains in cutting spending. And remember, this CR, this clean CR, which Republicans passed 14 or 15 times, would not increase spending. It was the Democrats who wanted to tack on additional spending, trillions of dollars for funding healthcare for illegal immigrants. So we have to get that narrative straight here. But again, let's urge for some patience here. The president is securing these historic deals, bringing in so much money and investments. He's getting our prices down. He's re-stimulating the economy, but it's going to take some time, okay? Because he inherited an absolute disaster from the Biden administration.
It really was an absolute disaster.
No
it was the auto pen administration, if we're being frank here, Nicole. The Democrat Party really does seem to be in disarray right now, and Trump has just made the Republicans look like rock stars with everything he's been able to get accomplished. I do want to get your take on this. There have been growing calls from the left for Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to leave leadership, but Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse is defending Schumer. Want to take a look at this clip and get your reaction on the other end.
It's team first in the House. The Senate has never been that way, and that's why gangs of 12 and gangs of 8 and all, it always comes up. Senators have much more individual agency in the Senate than House members do in the House. So that's just a fact. You can't measure Chuck Schumer against Nancy Pelosi because he's in a different job. He also had a bigger number of senators to deal with than 8. He had the 3 you mentioned who had never voted to stop the continuing resolution. He had the 5 who voted and changed the day. But Tim Kaine has said publicly that there were another 5 or 6 that were waiting in the wings and that were encouraging them. And if one of them had not voted, somebody else might have stepped in to make that 8th vote.
Nicole, only about 30 seconds left with you. How do you see Senate Democratic leadership looking after all of this?
Well, look, first of all, I'm certainly no fan of Chuck Schumer. I'm a New Yorker. He's been horrific for New York. But Schumer is not a Marxist. So let's not forget, he kept the government closed because he's afraid of a primary from the Marxists. And that's the new face of the Democrat Party. Schumer does not belong to this radical left flank of the party. He's controlled by it. And I would say that's even worse because you have these Democrat leaders who know their party has gone off the deep end, but they refuse to stand up to the fringe because they're politically terrified. That is the future of the Democrat Party. It's a very, very scary reality.
Yeah, Nicole, you make such a great point worth punctuating that I think we need to look at everything the Democrats do these days under the lens of the fact that they are in probably the most existentially desperate moment of Democrat history. And so everything they do, I think we need to look at it under that lens. And Nicole, you do such a great job of that. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, straight ahead, the verdict is in. How do working class Americans feel about the Democrat Party? Well, it's a news flash. It's not good. We have the results here next on American Sunrise.